what it is. Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, as always, I got a real treat for you. King Azoulay. King_Azoulay if you want to follow him on Instagram. Maybe some of you guys have seen him. Maybe some of you haven't, but now you're all going to. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
And that's movable, so try to, awesome. you can move it around, but try to get close.
Perfect.
Now, before the camera started, and I think we're going live on Facebook and YouTube. By the way, guys, Dropping Bombs, you can subscribe at droppingbombs.com, or just go follow me and you can find a way to subscribe to the podcast. We talk about on this podcast mainly, I say sales, business, and life, because isn't it all the same?
Yes.
And we were talking earlier, and you're Israeli.
Yes.
And you just said you're a descendant of King Solomon.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is your first name's not King? Is it King?
No. Ben.
Ben.
I named myself King once I found that out. And then I grew my beard. And I realized I have his wisdom.
It was passed down?
It was passed down 100%. I felt something for a very long time.
Well, they say King Solomon was one of the wisest and technically the richest man that ever lived.
The smartest man, the wisest man.
Do you know a lot about him?
Quite a bit.
How do you know you're related to him?
Well, we went back through my last name and then looked at my DNA and found out that I'm a descendant of his. He had 1,000 wives.
But how would your DNA tell him?
No. If you go back with my name and you check the DNA that I'm really from Morocco, you go back in time, you can know, because it comes through tribes.
So basically, at some point, old King Solomon got down with some lady who ended up having somebody who got down with somebody who blah, 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 and eventually,
down to us.
Yeah, here you are.
So Azoulay was a royal family. It was Azoulay and also Cohen, but we stepped down from royalty. The name Azoulay, what it stands for, a woman that is dirty and a whore I will not take. That is what it stands for.
Well, then I'm Azulle too.
So I have to be with a virgin. I have to, it was very serious, so we stepped down from that because it became almost impossible, but we were a royal family. So Azoulay is not such a common name, but if you have the name Azoulay, doesn't matter where you are, they go, Azoulay. The right-hand man of the king in Morocco today, he's also a family member of mine, also Azoulay.
So if I looked at your driver's license, it says Benjamin Azoulay.
Ben Azoulay. My mother didn't want to name me Benjamin.
Why?
She doesn't like the name. She doesn't like the name.
So if you've guys seen this dude, he's on social media. I know you made some money in real estate, didn't you? At some point?
Yeah.
How'd you make money? And by the way, how much money do you claim to be worth?
So today, close to 50.
Okay. And how did you make it? How old are you?
Right now, 34.
Okay. So how did you make close to 50 mil?
So this is how it happened. First, I was living in a home with a very, very difficult father. My dad, within time, my mom went through cancer. My dad broke his back, but it was very, very harsh dad. I don't speak to my dad. And
harsh meaning physically?
Both, physically, mentally, emotionally. So me, my brother, and my sister, which I kind of never share this on social media, we went through a really hard time with him. So my mom and him separated about 8 years ago. I haven't spoken to him in many years. He kicked me out of the house and I was homeless at 17. And no matter what, I didn't want to go settle for a job. So I went and worked for a guy from, which I've already said that.
Now, where was this?
Here. My mother came to have me here in the US. Then we went back to Israel. And when I was 10, came back here again. And when I was 17, he tossed me out of the house. So living as a homeless guy, I had no other way but to get in trouble. I was living at the park. It was difficult time. But at that time, I realized that no matter what, I wasn't going to settle for a paycheck. I was just not fit for that. I was always fit. I was always strong. I was fighting. I fought back with my dad eventually. But being homeless, you either go work someplace or I got involved with the wrong people, let's just say. So I became, I could say, a minister society at that time. And I got not convicted, but they tried to charge me with murder. And I went to jail and came out of jail, did my 19th birthday in jail, in the hole, came out of jail after they couldn't actually convict me, and decided I was going to step away from that life. I want to step away from all of my friends, all the people, and I just don't want to be there anymore. Once I stepped out of there, my whole life just went crazy. So I reached out to some guy who was doing carpet cleaning, and I started to do some carpet cleaning for him. For 2 weeks, he didn't want to hire me because he kind of like heard back my background, who I am, and I get in trouble. And also I'm 19, I just got out of jail. But eventually he hired me. It was nice enough. And within about 3 months, we became partners because I was doing everything. But then we opened up a air conditioning company, which was an HVAC company.
You and the dude?
Me and the dude. And about 8 or 9 months later, I found out that he was stealing from me. So I left him. But when I left him, I left with so much knowledge because I was doing everything. I was getting the cold callers into the studio, into the telemarketing office. After that, I was getting everybody to do sales for us. I was going on sales. I was changing insulation in the attics. I was changing air ducts in the attics. I was removing rats infestations. I was doing all the work, whatever it is. Go to the dumpsters, come back. Eventually, I started to sell nonstop. And I realized people love me. When I step into a home, they just love me. And they'll buy from me anything. And I realized you don't have to actually be such a crazy, sleazy salesman. You just have to be authentic. If there is a problem and I bring them pictures and a report and I spend 40 minutes in the attic and come out, they're buying whatever there's a problem with, no matter what it is. So if I knew that it would take my workers to do the job to, let's say, change air ducts, and I charge them $6,000, but with the workers it's going to cost me $4,000, I would do it on my own. It would cost me $1,500. So then all of that was profit. So for about 8 months, I was making with him 30, 40, 50 grand a month to my pocket. Come to find out, he was stealing from me.
How?
So I get a call from a client, which I was supposed to sell to that client. And then at the end of the day, someone else sold to that client.
So that's how he was stealing. He was stealing your clients.
Pretty much.
Undercutting.
If I went to a client and I gave them an estimate, he would call them. And when he would call him, he'd give him a better price. And then he'd send another crew that they didn't know about. And that's how he would take my jobs.
But didn't you ever follow up?
Mm-mm. I gave you an estimate. I left. I was next to the next thing. I didn't know those things back then. Once I left him, that was it. I opened up one of the biggest companies. He lost everything because I realized I was his luck. I was his power. I came out of jail. I knew how to speak the street, the street talk. I went to all the telemarketers that were working for us. I took them from other telemarketing offices, and they're a bunch of druggies. They came out of jail. So we had that talk. I brought him everybody. Once I left, they wanted to leave him right away. It was done.
Yeah, so it was your sales team.
My telemarketers, eventually I had 150 telemarketers. I had about 40 salespeople from here, not here in Nevada, but California, LA, all the way to San Diego and San Francisco.
Now how much you making?
Back then, easily within 60 days, I went up to 150K per month. After that, 400K per month. I started investing in real estate, doing real estate, buying. But I started with about 2 flips, realized the money isn't good enough, and I went into new builds. And new builds is great money.
Especially now. Right now, you can build cheaper than you can buy.
Back then too. I mean, I was 21 years old when I built my first house in Studio City. We bought the property for $1.2 million. Cost me $800,000 to build the house. We sold it for $4 million. That's a $2 million profit.
Boom. How long did it take you?
With the permits, about 14 months.
Good money for 14 months.
Very good. And now I have the people to do 5 per year if I want. So right now I'm building our house. I'm building the King's Palace, and I'm going to put it all on
Where's
video.
That at?
Calabasas. Right.
So you're from California? I could have swore you were from Miami.
No.
You're from California.
Yeah. I travel to Miami because they invite me all the time to, good stuff. But now I stay away from everybody.
Well, on social media, I always see you without a shirt on. Mm-hmm. You're tatted up, no?
Yeah.
You're tatted up, and you're always kind of saying some bold shit. I never really know, like, it's kind of like me. If you follow me, people are like, I'm not sure what he really talks about, because I talk about relationships, I talk about sales, I talk about business, I talk about, all kinds of dumb shit. But to me, dude, that's life. Sales, business, and life. What do you talk about on social media?
I have realized that because I talk about everything, yes, I go viral. Yes, everywhere I go, people know me. If I walk right now down at the hotels, people recognize me. People take pictures with me. People run up to me, hug me.
What do they say?
Some people cry.
But what for? What are you saying?
But that's the thing, that every little reel has something else. So I talk about religion. I talk about relationship. I talked about women. I talked about men.
Okay, let's go to women for a minute. Let's go to women.
They hate me for talking about women, but I have just so much to say. But now I only coach men because I realize men led the way since the beginning of time. So if women got here, they got here because men led them here. They didn't get here on their own. So men have to take responsibility. But at the beginning, I was going after some women and explaining how bad that is and this is and that. I got off of that and realized I'm a man. Am I leading my wife or she's leading me? Am I the king?
Hey, better ask yourselves this question, because there's a lot of dudes out there. They're going to say she's leading me. Or worse, they think they think they're leading and they're not leading. And if they are leading, they're leading them right into a fucking hole.
Of course. Listen, most women today rather be independent. Independent means one, it's not two. Independent. But, it is what it is. You'll see these women going into their masculinity because masculinity is essential for survival. And when you need to survive, you need to be more masculine. And now if dudes are more feminine, that is why I coach only dudes, because I say, if you're feminine, how is she going to trust you? You're not willing to pay the bills. I've been on dates before and the woman wants to pay for me. How can I let you pay for me? I will pay. I will drive you. I will pick you up.
What if you're broke?
I will protect you. Then I don't go on a date. No thanks. We'll eat at mom's house. That's fine. I'm telling you, I used to be 13 years old. I used to date girls that were 30. I would tell them that my license was revoked, that they impounded my car, and that when she would come sleep over, I'd say, shh, my roommates are sleeping. That was what I would say, It is what it is. I was 13, but I was built, and I was ready to just eat the world.
When you say built, you've always been built?
Always been built. Yeah, the last post I just posted, even when I was 8 years old, just jacked.
But why?
So it goes back to the time that my father was very difficult with me. And I didn't understand why I was working out so much. But when I got to the age of 31, I had this connection with God. Like, do you believe in God?
Me?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you believe in God?
Yeah.
But belief is a word of doubt. Do you believe your kid is your kid, or do you know?
I believe.
No,
I believe.
So at 31,
I know there's a God, but I believe my kid is mine.
At 31, I knew that God existed because he was just there for me so much. And I had this strong connection. And then I've realized that the reason I worked out so much is because I felt my soul was claustrophobic in my body. Some people have a higher soul than their body. In this world, we have our soul, we have our bodies, we have our minds. They're all business partners, right? So we're spiritual creatures, but we live in a physical world, in a physical body. We have an intellect, but most people don't know who they are. And I've realized that my soul is so big that my body was just too small. So I was working out. I was already jacked at the age of 8.
Wow. So you've been working out your whole life?
My whole life.
Okay, so now I know how you made your dough, and then I'm assuming, you spread that around.
Well, from there, I had restaurants and nightclubs in Israel and in Romania, and I got into the casino business and went everywhere. Like, I've done it all. But now I've invented products. I hold my own patents. I've invented the #1 mask in the world. I have a medical
Mask?
tech
What do you
company.
mean?
Like a face mask with a purifier on it to kill any virus coming in and out. I just received the patents on that. So
when you're down at home, what do you do all day?
Wake up at 2:45, go to sleep at 9. I don't need more than 6 hours of sleep.
She's gonna lie for you even if she had to.
Women need 7 to 8 hours as men because we have testosterone. That is enough for us. We don't need more than 6 hours. And if you say you need more than 6 hours, just sleep faster.
But if I call you at 9:30, you're sleeping already.
I'm sleeping. And also my phone goes on do not disturb by 8.
And this is routine.
9 p.m.
So if I catch you out at 10:30 one night, I'm gonna say, huh?
In Vegas I was out. I didn't sleep right now for 48 hours.
You just don't sleep?
Now I didn't sleep for 48 hours. Just now.
Why would you do that?
Well, we went to an event and then I had a lot of things and meetings, and I have people who work for me, some in Pakistan, some in the Philippines, some in India, some in Israel, and calls after calls after calls after calls. But when you're a high performance man, and I mainly eat only steaks, so my diet is very like steak, red meat.
Yeah.
I take my coffee, I put butter inside of it, and that is how my days go,
So let's go back, because I know people were traveling down that woman road. You were talking about they become masculinity, but you also said all the women nowadays want to be independent.
Most women, yeah.
But I don't really think that's true. I think they are forced to be.
There's a trust issue.
Yeah, but there's a lot of women that hit me up because I say similar things to your beliefs, like men should pay. I said if you don't make enough money and you have a good woman, because a good one is the key. If you have a bad one, it doesn't apply. But if you have a good one and she's out spending your income, you need to make more money. And that went viral as hell. So a lot of women are forwarding my opinions to their men, and they talk to me a lot. They DM me a lot. And a lot of them are like, do you have a brother? Like, where are all the men like you? Right. And so that tells me a lot of them want a man. Mm-hmm. They're just apparently, according to them, there aren't any. Why do you think that is? Where are all the men going?
So within the years, society got weaker and weaker and weaker, especially in the U.S. I just said that on another show that I was on with Columbus Short. I said, hey, I mainly and mostly hire people that are immigrants. They just work so much harder and they're so much stronger. They don't talk about it's 5 p.m. and now I got to leave because I'm clocking out, or it's my lunch. Don't text me. Don't bother me at that time. Or don't say this to me. Oh, that's not nice to say. Immigrants don't speak like that. They don't mind working. Anytime you call them, no problem. They're just harder workers. So society has become weak. The U.S. wanted men to become weaker. Testosterone levels went down.
That's a
handshake pressure went down. In the 1980s, a man handshake was 118 pounds. And then,
That's a pretty firm handshake.
Yeah. Today, it's 86 pounds.
I wouldn't even think it was that.
Today, it's 86 pounds, the average handshake. Back in the 1980s, women were 94 pounds. Today, women are 98 pounds of hand pressure.
Dude, that's a lot of pounds.
That is. But women have a more firm handshake. And like I said, women that are working today, they just don't trust men because a man doesn't want to be responsible for a woman. Also, let's not forget that today, if you marry a woman in the U.S., she can take your house, she can take your kids. My kid was just taken from me by my ex. I have a 7-year-old son. I've been back and forth in courts for 4 years straight. I just lost my son. I still haven't shared this with anybody. Everybody knows that I've been back and forth. I went to the courts. I brought the best lawyers. The lawyers even left me before the trial, and I did the trial all on my own. Fought for him with my life. Spent $350,000. There's nothing you could do.
You know, a lot
of women have control.
Well, a lot of people will say to guys like you should have fought harder. When the question is, why would you have to? Why would you have to fight that hard? Like, he's half yours.
Exactly.
So I don't agree with a lot of the courts awarding the woman, but sometimes it's probably better off that way. But it's probably tough for judges to like look at you two and not know which one the child should go with. So I think the default should always be joint custody unless someone can prove a reason not to. Like, what was she saying that would cause that judge to say you can't see him?
She didn't say much, but her lawyer said that I didn't pay her for 12 months straight.
So?
Any child support. And I said, she blocked me everywhere. She went and married some guy. She disappeared. My credit card was on his school. Also for hockey, everything I was paying. She went there, removed my credit card, so I don't pay for these things, and disappeared. I had to go get private investigators. I've spent so much money. Even I brought in the guy from the process server who went to serve her multiple times. When she ran away, one point in time, she left my kid outside and ran inside the house. All of that, and the courts of Ohio said it is what it is. No, first of all, I did a whole day of trial. Once I came back to LA, it took 3 months, and about a week ago, I get a letter from them saying, I lost my son.
Like, lost custody.
I lost custody, but also the new husband adopted him. So they wrote to me that this is equivalent of a death sentence. For me to go through such thing,
it would just mean that you don't have any rights.
I have no rights, and I can't see him until he's older.
Well, and that will happen, by the way. But dude, how can a court do that?
So they show that other people who didn't pay for 12 months straight, they lost the case. But I said, hey, I've been here. I'm in the courts back and forth. Yeah, I didn't pay her for a year. She disappeared. I don't know where my son is. And I proved everything. Nothing. Nothing that you could do.
What are you going to do now?
I'm going to become the most famous person on the planet. And my son is going to, the second he gets a phone, he's going to hear from me. And people are going to tell him, the king is your dad. And I just got...
I love the name, the king.
You know what? I feel like it fits me. I have this like very old soul and very caring. I have thousands of students all around the world, and the whole goal is just to help them. Mindset mainly, and spirituality. I teach them who they are.
Are you teaching them to be Jewish?
No. You know, it's like I'll ask you, where did you come from before this life? Do you know?
Before this life?
Before this life, did you come?
I don't know.
And after this life, do you know where you're going?
I know where I hope to go.
Where you hope to go?
To heaven.
And in this lifetime, do you know why you're here?
I have my beliefs. I don't know.
So people don't understand, because the truth is they don't know where they came from. They don't know where they're going. And today, most people don't know what the fuck they're doing here.
Well, I think I'm here to provide and protect for women and children.
Yeah, but we have to have a bigger purpose.
That's a basic one.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you have to have a bigger purpose.
What's your purpose?
My purpose is to change the world. My purpose is to bring people together, to show more love to one another, to stop the fighting, to understand that we all are here for a reason. And if God put every single person here, there's a reason for it. So I'm Jewish, but I have nothing against Muslims or Christians. If God
what
put
about
them
Palestinians?
Here, nothing against them. If God put them here, he put them here for a reason. Who am I to tell him why he did that? Or to ask him, or to judge him?
I've been forgetting these. That's a bomb right there.
You know, and too many people are too stuck to materialistic things. Before this life, you didn't come here with an investment, did you? And when you're leaving, are you leaving with something? All of this, are you going to take it with you? So, by definition, in this lifetime, you don't gain anything and you don't lose anything. Nothing. So the only reason we are truly here is to create a correction from whatever we didn't do in our last life. We're here to correct something.
So you believe in reincarnation?
Yes. Yes, my soul is for sure a couple thousand years old.
So what if you get everything right here? Do you finally get to heaven, or do you just keep coming back?
Well, this is hell. This is 100% hell.
Well, this is hell. It ain't that bad.
I mean, it's pretty bad for some people.
Not for me.
Not for me and you, right? Because we're warriors. We're warriors of God.
Well, amen. Hey, I hope he sees me as that.
You're a warrior of God. You know, you're out there, you're showing yourself, you're guiding people, you're helping people. You're providing to so many people in here that work for you. You're feeding so many families. You're a warrior.
Well, that wouldn't make you a warrior of God. There's people that do that are out there humping children too.
Well, we could tell who is and who's not, right?
Well,
I'm talking about you.
If we could, we'd have them all. We'd have it solved.
We'd have them all lined up. But you know, you're somebody that's doing very good for the world.
I try to, yeah. Thank you.
And you could see that. And you could see a stoic man. And I like that. And that is also why I reached out to you.
What do you think of Andrew Tate and Tristan?
So I got on social media because of Tate. You know, I got on there so I could help him. I didn't know anything about social media 18 months ago. I got on there because I figured out, you know what? Some people need help. And it started because my friends started sending me his videos and they said, hey, listen, he speaks exactly like you, but you speak it in Hebrew. He speaks it in English, but you guys sound exactly the same.
He was talking about Tate?
And he was talking about Tate. So they would send me a bunch of his videos for about a week and a half straight. And I said, I'm not going onto social media. I told you I used to work in counter-terrorism for over a decade. Remember that? When we talked?
A long time ago?
Yeah?
No.
Yeah. When we talked a year and a half ago, I told you I worked in counter-terrorism for over a decade. So for me, I wasn't allowed to be even on social media or any of these things. And even today, I'm not allowed to even speak about what unit I was in, things like that for the next 5 years. I can't share it with anybody. But
there's a lot of people out there that would say, now that's where I'm calling bullshit.
That's fine. Nobody cares.
And
I don't
it's
care.
Convenient that you can't talk about it so no one can verify.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's units that are called invisible units.
I'm not doubting you. I always give everyone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, I don't care.
But if I were to question it, I would say, well, wait a minute. At 17, you were homeless. At 18, right. 19, you were cleaning carpets. Then you got into telemarketing. Then you went, then you started doing real estate. And you started investing here and there. And that was only 10 years ago. So when was the counter-terrorism?
Yeah.
And who is it for? The Israeli army?
Well, it's Israel and the United States. You work with both.
That's the CIA.
That's because, no. Counterterrorism is a little bit different.
But you had to be with somebody.
Yeah, but can't talk about who I was with. Come on.
All right.
You want them to grill me? Yeah.
No,
but when you hold dual citizenship, when it's Israeli and American citizenship, I could do a lot of things that other people can't do. I go a lot of places that other people can't do. So, for example, I speak English like an American, so I could go places people don't know that I'm Israeli. You know what I mean? They won't really be on to me.
Kinda. But like if you're American, I can tell that you're also something else. Mm-hmm. I can tell that you speak another language. Let's just say that.
I speak 5 languages. But
you speak great English, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is when you get these dumbasses that make fun of people's accents, I always look at them and be like, dude, you're making fun of a dude that speaks multiple languages, and that's where the accent comes from.
Right.
You're making fun of somebody that speaks multiple languages. Who's the dumbass?
I speak 5 languages. I speak Hebrew,
fluently,
English, Russian, and Spanish, and one more that I can't speak about.
Yep. Sumerian.
Special language.
Anunnaki.
No, definitely not.
So the whole woman thing, I think we're aligned with women. I think men should provide and protect for women. And I think women, like you said, are being forced to become more masculine. Some of them are like what I call left wingers or feminists, they call them, where, screw men. We don't need men because they're sour and whatnot. But I think there's a lot of women, and I think the majority of women wish it was the old days, or not the old days per se. Because again, I think women like modern day, but they just want polite men that were taught old traditions, like open the door, pay, but then again, to man's protection or men's protection, you get some gold digging hoes out in the world, and these men run into these gold diggers and these hoes, and they get cheated on and lied to and swindled, and so the man starts going, screw you, I'm not paying for shit, and then they get sour. So now you got the sour dudes out there that probably would have been good dudes, but some hoe ruined them, and then you got the good women out there that probably, you know, would have found a man, but the hoes ruined them all. So whose fault is it?
There's a big problem, but it's mostly in the U.S. If you'll go other countries, it's not like that. The woman is a woman, and it's the most beautiful thing when you see a feminine woman and a masculine man. Me and my wife, we walk places, people look at us, they stare at us, even if they don't know me. They still stare. They still see that beauty. We walk around, I'm a strong man, she's a delicate woman, it looks fantastic. We walk to go, even if we walk into any door, I run right to the door, open the door, close the door, take care of her, pay for everything. Matter of fact, now she holds my wallet. We're married. But I let her run all the finance. She knows where I have money, where I keep other money. She knows everything. But you have to be 100%. But you also have to know who you marry.
Yeah, but that's very difficult.
The last one I was with, she took my son, took money.
You probably thought she was good at the time.
She was sweet at the time.
How do you know this one ain't another one?
Listen,
you never know, right?
But I met her. She got pregnant within 3 weeks. It wasn't like something that I wanted. It happened somehow.
Yeah, but my point is you never know, because we all think we know.
You see this girl? Farm girl.
I know, but let's go back in history where you just got with your wife. Mm-hmm. Did you suspect her at any time? No. Before she revealed herself? No. That's my point. This could be the same case.
It could
5 years from now, you could be back on Drop Bombs going, that bitch took my money. But again, we always, obviously feel the way we do, or we wouldn't pull the trigger. But I'm just saying, you never know is the whole point. You never know. You can't know.
In order for something to work out, you have to give your 100%. If you're not going to give 100%, don't do it. Don't be there.
Well, I would agree with that.
Don't be there. You don't want to be with a woman, fine.
And not only that, but be willing to risk it. So what? She takes some money. That's my opinion. Like, I'll go make more. Exactly. If I find out my wife is a bad one,
I'll go take more money.
And not only that, dude, there's some guys that get a good one and they ruin them.
Of course.
Because of their behavior. And guess what? They're not giving them money. They're basically belittling them because they don't produce any money. And then there's guys that are like controlling, like, who are you looking at? Why are you looking at him? Let me see your phone. You can't go anywhere. And then pretty soon, like I said, it could have been a good woman that just got abused.
The first day,
because that's abuse. Would you agree?
100%. The first day that we met, I gave her both of my phones and I said, here are my phones. Here are my exes. Here is what I've done. Here is where I've been. You want to look. You don't want to look. Here are pictures that I've had. You can go through the folder. You can do whatever you want.
Can she delete them if she wants?
It's all in the open. You can do whatever you want. It's all in the open. You're my wife.
Well, that's how it should be.
That's how it was.
And I'll bet you if that's how it was in most relationships, we wouldn't have the divorce rates we have.
Of course. We're at like 70% the first year now.
But my wife, like, if she wants to use my phone, go ahead. I always tell people on social media, and I'll say it again for the people listening, if your wife does not let you in her phone, that is a big red flag. And vice versa. If you're a dude and you are afraid that your girl goes through your phone, then quite frankly, dude, that's a big red flag. Like, there should be no separation of accounts and phones. Like, my wife can go into my Instagram. She can see if someone sends me a naked picture, guess what? She can delete it just like I can. So like, I can't control people sending me stuff. If I can't go in her social media, if I see shit's been deleted, their phones are down, all that's a red flag.
Of course.
So what you're saying with her is you guys are both, hey, phones up, passwords free, transparency.
The good thing, listen, you've been around. You're extremely perspicacious the way you see things. You notice things. A lot of men don't notice these things. And it gives room for... The problem is that today, 70% of women in relationships have a man that is plan B. I don't have a problem with that. You know what my problem is? What man is willing to be plan B? What kind of men are you willing to be plan B?
Well, they don't know their plan B.
You know she's in a relationship. You're still contacting her here and there.
No, dude, that's not plan B. I thought you meant like you're with someone and secretly she's got a plan B.
No, she has a plan B and the guy is there waiting. 70%
I know,
of
but that's
women
my
in
point.
relationships today.
The guy doesn't know that because, like, again, if someone came to me and said, "Hey, your wife has a couple of options, and the second you mess up, she's going at them, and she keeps them on the line, and she's feeding and nurturing these options," Khalas.
Exactly. If my wife spoke to another dude, anything, sorry, you gotta go. You gotta go. I'll still take care of you, whatever you need from me.
What if you had kids, though?
You gotta go.
No matter what.
You gotta go. You gotta go. Back in the day, it's off with our head. Today, you just gotta go. Take care.
You don't. But what if there's kids and then she's sorry and all that?
No, there's no such thing as sorry.
Why not?
Imagine somebody trying to kill you with his last bullet and misses. Are you going to give them a second try? You're going to give them a second bullet?
No.
No.
But what if the bullet doesn't kill you? What if your friend just tries to punch you in the face?
Let's be real. When a woman starts, it will never end. It's the same like a child. I say a woman is like a child. Think about it. If you really think about it, back in the day, the dad would hand her over to the men. The dad would raise her, take care of her, watch after her, and then hand her over to the men. The problem is that the dads are not watching their daughters anymore. They're not there. But a woman is like a child, very easy to manipulate as well. That's why we got kicked out of Garden of Eden. It's because she was manipulated by the snake, which was the devil. That's why we didn't conceive even one child in Garden of Eden, and we got kicked out. So if a woman could be manipulated so fast, why would you let her make the decisions of the house? Let's be real.
Can she influence the decisions?
We will speak about it. She doesn't make decisions without me, and I don't make decisions without her.
Hey, now you went too far.
I'll tell you what I mean by decisions. I want her to feel like we are one.
I know, but if you want to buy something, you got to ask.
No, it's not a decision.
That's a decision.
But
What's
if
a
I want to
decision?
fly, if I'm flying right now, I got to fly to Italy. I have to let her know.
Let her know and ask are two different things.
No, I consult with her. Honey, I got to go to Italy. Can I stay there for 3 days or for 5 days? Yeah, I could go for 5 days.
See, then you're nicer than me. Because I'd call my wife and I'd say, "Honey, pack a bag. We're going to Italy."
Oh,
and
you're going to Italy with her.
Well,
I'm saying if I
she's
have
welcome
by
to go.
myself.
I'd never have to go by myself. When would ever you need to go without your wife? I would never go without my wife unless she couldn't go. And then, hey, I'm staying for 10 days. You don't want to go? Well, I'll see you in 10 days. My point is, I don't need to get my wife to make decisions.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And I don't think you do either.
No, I'm just being nice on your show.
Yeah. Well,
you want to tap it?
No, because on Dropping Bombs, we got to tell the truth. We got to keep it real.
Look, I like to speak to her about everything, but as you can see,
that means you include her, and I do too.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong or feminine about inclusion.
But at the end of the day,
I should start a coaching group.
If I say we're doing this, that's what we're doing.
I should start a coaching group and teach men how to be cool.
Look, at the end of the day, think about it this way. If she was going to pay all the bills, I have no problem. Go ahead. Try to figure out how to pay for all the bills. But if I'm paying for everything, that means I have to think 20 steps ahead. Just let me do my thing.
Yeah, that's what I think a lot of women wish they could find a man like that, but not one that does that and then turns around and shits on them and treats them like nothing because of that. And there's a lot of guys that do that. There's guys that make the money and they pay for the wife, but they belittle the wife because they're not contributing. They belittle her because but again, to me,
dad was like that.
To me, that's abuse mentally.
Course.
It's like, why can't you be that man that they all want and still be nice and love her and include her and cherish her. Because if you can do both, that's what the freaking women want, bro.
But that's a narcissist.
And by the way, some women, they don't want that. You know what they want? They want a little feminine bitch boy to do whatever he's told. And that's the one that gets cheated on. That's the one that gets freaking screwed over. That's the one that ends up like, hamstrung.
I got to tell you, I've had so many women in the past 18 months reach out to me, and they all say the same thing. I wish I could be with a man like you. And at the time when I was single, I would ask them, okay, well, who are you seeing right now? Are you seeing anybody? Are you single? Have boyfriends? Have husbands? Maybe you should coach my husband. Maybe you should coach my boyfriend. He's an idiot.
Is that what made you start a coaching?
Yeah, I actually didn't think about coaching at all. When I first got on social media, I just thought, okay, I'm going to go on there. I'm going to speak the truth. Probably going to get famous very quick. And I did. I've been all over the world. I mean, everybody has seen me. It's been great. But then I've realized, holy shit, so many people actually need help. And just through the videos, I can't do that. So I built a program, which is 5 weeks, and it's live calls every week with me. I coach them. Then daily tasks. We have a group chat. And they're networking with other men. And some of them are very successful men. Some of them are not that successful. But when they network together, they work as a team. I put them on the right diet, the right mindset, spirituality. I help them understand where they came from, why they're here, what's their mission.
Help me figure out where I came from.
Ooh, it's going to be a long conversation.
Oh,
but
if it takes that long, we can't do it. But I would like to know where I came from.
But the truth is, I feel like the whole world and what I know, the world is like a video game. Because if you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. The thing that we have to do, and most people love doing it, there's no way you can go without it, is sleep. Sleep is the cousin of death, which means when you're waking up, you're actually going to sleep. And when you're going to sleep, you're waking up. The world is not a real world.
The world's a little bit backwards. It's like a mirror.
Completely.
I tell people, if you want comfort, you have to seek discomfort, and if you seek comfort, you'll end up with discomfort. Because again, most people don't get what I'm saying. Like, dude, you take the easy road your whole life, you end up fat, flabby, broke, and you were seeking comfort, what you thought was comfort, and you ended up uncomfortable. So if you want that actual comfort, well, then you have to seek discomfort. You have to be uncomfortable. You have to challenge and grow.
Be comfortable and uncomfortable positions.
Yeah. And so that's how you do it. It's like a mirror. It's like a trick.
100%.
I just wish they extended that to food. Like, wouldn't it be killer if broccoli and cauliflower got you fat and chocolate and ice cream made you ripped?
I don't know.
Everybody'd be ripped.
Sugar is literally the root of all evil. I stay away from sugar
at all costs. What's that?
It's got foam, and it's a double espresso shot.
It's not a sugar-free latte.
No lattes here. They're all double espressos.
What do you say about the past administration? Are you glad Trump got elected?
Of course.
Are you? What do you think about gay people?
Actually, I don't think much of them.
But I mean, your religion and your beliefs.
So in our religion, in Judaism, you're not a man that goes with a man. It's like the biggest sin you could do.
Well, Christians think that too.
So I don't think people that are gay are gay because they're gay. I think it was more something that was built on them.
Well, do you know that like only 31% of people that are gay are born that way? The other 69% are sucked into it.
I believe so. I very much believe so. But I almost feel like all of them were sucked into it.
Hey, but in reality, okay, because people always ask me, what do you think about, LGBTQ and all this? Here's my thoughts about gay and lesbian and all this. Number one, I think I'm a lesbian, personally, if that means you like women. But without jokes, I say it's not my business. I say that's their business. If they want to be gay, be gay. Like, again, I'm not here to make the rules, and I'm not here to enforce them. I let people be people. Like, you want to be gay, be gay. You don't want to be gay. I don't care. I've had friends that they were gay. I've got employees that are gay, but I don't care. Why? Well, because that's their business. It's not my business. I don't judge them and say, "Ooh, you can't do this." Now, am I doing it?
To be honest with you, I wish all men were gay, so I would marry all the women.
I know, but is my belief?
Go back to King Solomon, right? Have 1,000 wives.
Yeah, but follow what I'm saying. So I think let live and let live.
100%.
Is that a bad thing to think, or is that the right way to think?
It's the right way to think, but because we are in that place right now in the U.S., we're going more towards polygamy, not monogamy, because 35 million men are gay. 98.6% of the people in prisons are men. A lot of women don't even want anybody who makes less than $100,000 a year, which that already eliminates like 87% of men.
Which, by the way, that's what I'm trying to help. Okay. Men that aren't making money. Period. Because you know how easy it is to make money? Number one, you have to drop the shovel 9 times out of 10. Mm-hmm. If you got a shovel in your hand or an apron on, or you're a laborer, you know, and you're not planning on learning the trade so you can own the company, and you're not entrepreneurial and you don't have a plan. I'm talking about you're just a laborer. Mm-hmm. Someone's telling you, here's $50. Go bust your ass for an hour. Well, who's giving that person $50? The person that's charging more than $50, like when you said I could get it done for this. And so but my point is I'm teaching people how to, and coincidentally, it's change their mindset, change their skill set, change their habits, because those 3 things are the key. And then I go a step further with those people. I give them a job selling something, because because what you did and how you got rich is you found a way to make more money than you needed. And that's the key. People don't understand. You have to have discretionary income, because in order to get rich or wealthy, you have to invest. Mm-hmm. You started investing. Yes. Mm-hmm. You only could invest because you had excess.
Of course.
When you were making the 50K a month, dude, that's $600,000 a year. You can get out of the rat race making that kind of money, even if it takes a little while. So these people that aren't making $100,000, which would you say 87%? Mm-hmm. 87% of men out there aren't making $100,000. Those are the ones I want to help. If you ain't making $100,000, come see old Brad Lee.
So I just hired 5 of my students to work for me in sales. I've been doing sales for a very long time. And one of them, I hired him this morning, and he didn't know that I was coming here. And he sends me a voice note. I can let you hear it after. He goes, I reached out to Brad Lee, and I wanted to work with him in sales. And I had a call with him. But King, I really want to work with you. Will you hire me? And I said, if you want to work with me, why not?
That's what you should do.
And he's a young kid. He's 18 years old. He was my student, still my student.
Well, he didn't reach out to me, so he's probably bullshitting you.
No, literally, his name is Alex.
I didn't talk to him.
Or maybe one of your team members, but somebody. I guess he.
He went to the application to apply.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Then if he doesn't work out for you, send him to my training, and I'll send him back a fire-breathing dragon. Because that's all I'm doing, bro. Is people put in an application to come work for me.
Okay.
If they don't make money, they need what? Train, dude. They don't know how to do it. So we train them mindset, then the skills necessary to close and persuade and market and build a personal brand, and the belief system to do it, right? Confidence, the rest of it. And then we give them the habits that are like habits of the successful. Like you get up at 2:45. As long as you get up in the morning, dude. I know people sleeping until 9. Bro, get your ass up.
There's
5:36 a.m. your ass should be up. Now again, if you're working graveyard, well then that doesn't apply. Right. But if you're sitting at home, you get home 6, 7 at night, and you're sitting there watching TV till 2 a.m. and so now you sleep in till 10, dude, you're a bum. Like you need to stop that shit. Not a bum literally, but like there's habits that successful people do that anyone can adopt. And if you dial in your habits and you've got the skills down and you got your mindset right, dude, you're unstoppable. And if that's the case, which is what I would have taught young Alex, I hope you're listening. If you don't work out with your boss, come back to daddy. That's King Azoulay. I'm Daddy Brad. But in reality, anybody out there that's not making $100,000, dude, you got to do something because you're not getting out of the rat race doing that shit. You're not even buying dinner. You were heading with that they weren't making money because they can't pay for food. They can't pay for dinners.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if you think about it, if somebody can't make $100,000, what 6 months out of the year, if he's making $100,000, he's working for Uncle Sam. He's not even working for himself. So he's not really making $100K. Half of that almost goes to taxes. And we were talking about people that sleep. I mean, think about it. If you're sleeping 8 hours a night, you're sleeping a third of your life. If you lived for 90 years, you're 30 years of your life where you were asleep.
So what are you doing at 2:45 when you wake up?
When I was in jail, and I realized that if I'm going to wake up earlier than everybody, I'm going to work on myself, not on my job eventually, but on myself harder than I do on my job. Eventually, my job will pay me much more than what it would pay me now. So if you work on yourself, that is the main thing. And that's what I did with Alex. That's what I did with some of the other guys. I helped them find out who they are. Because before you came to this world, we're all here for a reason. God sent you here. He whispered in your ear your mission. And your mission, when you get to the point where you're here and you get a little bit older, you start thinking about things and you start having dreams. And people have a dream. I want to do this. The dream is the mission that God sent you on.
Well, then he wants me to be an actor. He wants me to be a movie star.
He does. I just got a gig for a big movie. So that's the next thing.
Doing movies?
Doing movies, yeah. I've been already in a few, but this time, this is a big one. This one's going to be on the big screen, everything. I can't wait to speak about it.
You're not allowed to?
NDAs. Yeah. Before things come out to the open, NDAs are signed.
All right, so let's talk about, we talked about the women. Let's talk a little bit about spirituality real quick. Mm-hmm. What do you think men should know about spirituality?
And that's where I go back to when men were real men, they knew what they were doing here. Today, they have no clue why they're here. So they're all like floating souls, And I call these people travelers. They're not here. They're just traveling the world and they die. They're a waste of space. They need to have a purpose. When you have a purpose, you're driven by God. If you're driven by God, you'll work with God's deed. You'll also work with God's speed. The amount of work I was able to do in the past 18 months because I'm doing God's work, I've gotten to a whole nother level. I don't even know if you remember, but me and you had a call 18 months ago when I went super viral 2 weeks after I got on social media. And me and you got on a call. Your son was talking to one of my assistants. And then they got us on a call and we did a Zoom call and we spent about an hour over the phone.
I remember.
Talking. When we spoke, I didn't know anything about social media. So I asked you, I said, hey, would you want to work with me to help me out with this? And he said, look, yes, I can. The only thing is I'm going to guide you for a few months and it's going to be $90K. Let me know if that's something you want to do. And I said, look, I'll give you percentage. You remember that?
Well, you don't clearly because that's not how the program works, but close enough.
Something like that.
No, the $90K package. And by the way, we have $30K, $60K, or $90K.
Right.
I told you the $90K package gets you a system and the content. It gets you this because you're going to need it. And the blowing you up and the influence and the help, that's coming from me, and I'll just do that if you do this. But if you don't have a system to monetize it, then no, I don't want to help you blow up because, dude, like, what's the point?
Yeah, and I just started back then. So we talked about it, and I told you when I'm ready, when I reach out to you. But
whenever you're ready, you come see me. I'll show you how to make a ton.
See, I'm here, right?
But dude, yes, I remember the call. That's why I said, aren't you in real estate? Because you were talking about teaching people real estate.
I was teaching real estate. I was teaching them. I brought a professor in crypto to teach them crypto, like break it down to a T. And I was teaching them a lot of things, but then I realized when people go to King Azoulay, they don't know what they go for. They go for real estate. They go for crypto. They go for sales, spirituality, mindset, fitness. There's so many things. I had to narrow it down. And now I realized I could take anybody and turn them into a millionaire. And I already have. And I have proof of people that I've made them a lot of money just by going through my program. But once you fix the mindset and you understand it's not the money that made the men, it's the men that made the money. Boom.
See, people don't understand that either. People think once I have the money, I'll have the mindset. No, once you have the mindset, you'll have the money.
I knew that if I'm waking up even 2 hours before everybody, if everybody wakes up at 7 and I wake up at 5, that's 2 hours a day. I have more than them. 2 hours a day, 365 days. That's 730 hours. I have more than them. I'm going to win no matter what. So if I'm waking up at 2:45 and I'm getting to read my book for 30 minutes, when I'm in alpha state, you know alpha state?
Yeah.
When you wake up and you're half asleep, half awake, your brain doesn't give positive suggestions or negative suggestions. It just retains all the information. That's the best time to read a book. And sometimes I go for a whole hour. After that, I jump in the ice. I have my own ice bath that I've invented, which I will release eventually. I'm going to do pants on it because, everybody's got the chillers. Mine actually has ice. It builds real ice inside. I sit in the ice. I'm done with the ice. I jump in my cold pool, go to the house, have the king shot. You ever heard of the king shot?
I've seen it on social media. You were making a batch of it. It's basically cayenne pepper, lemon. What else?
Now we got turmeric. Doing the king shot, I got to tell you, everybody's crazy about it. In total, I have probably 100 million views between these videos that I've done. But you take the king shot, you drink it in the morning, you will go running. You won't be able to stop. You're going to shed all of your fat off. All of that is just going to fall out.
Well, can't people buy it instead of make it?
And I have the exact amount that you need to do. But if you take lemon, ginger, cayenne pepper, turmeric, pink Himalayan salt, a little bit of olive oil, and if you are brave, this is only for the brave ones.
Shilajit.
If you're only brave, you take a little bit of vodka. If you're brave, you turn on fire, you will go running 45 minutes, you won't be able to stop.
Do you do vodka?
Sometimes, yes. Not every morning, but sometimes I do. I try to stay away from alcohol, but it shreds you up because the vodka dries up your belly areas. People have this like baby fat, water. It dries it up completely.
Yeah, that's why sometimes if I go out and I wake up with a little hangover, I'm like, dude, I'm more cut this morning.
Yeah, because you're dry. But then when you drink water, it all goes back and you get a little bit bloated because it holds on to it. Your body will hold on to everything.
Yeah.
But I know how to manipulate my body very well. You do the king shot, let's say without the vodka. After that, about 10, 15 minutes, you're going to have black coffee with a little bit like a slab of butter. Always slab of butter. I don't drink my coffee without a slab
Real
of butter.
Real butter. Not margarine, folks.
No soy boys, no bullshit. Yeah, I could say that on here, yeah? No soy boys, no bullshit. Well, we don't want to bring down our testosterone. We want to bring it up. And then if you want to stay shredded, I just dropped down 30 pounds of muscle because I'm getting ready for this movie. So I have to look super fit and I can't be too big. I could do flips. I could fight. I was a cage fighter. I was doing acrobats as a young man. So for me, all of these things, I want to show them in the movies where people see, okay, this guy is like the Jean-Claude Van Damme of today. Today, look at the men, all these movies. Look at Spider-Man, All of them, they're all geeks. They want you to want to look like a geek. They don't want real men around. They don't want Spartans. They don't want you to get up in the morning and say, I'm a king, I'm going to take over the world. They don't want you to have that fire. They're taking the fire out of the kids. Not to forget to mention, before Donald Trump, they're also trying to chop him off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, yeah, I do know what you mean.
Now you have somebody like Donald Trump up in office, and all of a sudden they want to kill him. I was right here at the hotel right across the street from the Trump Tower. They blew up the car.
Where's your recipe for this king shot?
All over my social media. Any platform.
King_Azoulay. That's AZOULAY.
Yep.
Folks, you guys can follow him if you're not already following him. I think we went live this whole episode. Let's kill the live, Marty. If you guys subscribe to Dropping Bombs, if you want to see the rest of it. But I want to get into the juicy stuff for maybe another 10 minutes. You got time?
I'm with you all day.
Good. Well, and I just said juicy stuff so people want to go subscribe. But so I want the recipe to the king shot because, again, I'll do it. I'll make that shit. I like that turmeric and all that healthy shit. I just buy it at a place called the juice, or I forget what it's called. But basically, they make something similar to that.
The way I make it, you could also add some black pepper to it. Some people like it because it helps with the turmeric a little bit better. But I do it without the black pepper. It's more than enough. Every single man, I'm telling you, I have guys that are in my coaching that are 60 and 70 years old. One of the guys, a Jewish guy from New York, he couldn't walk. After I put him on the right diet, he lost 37 pounds.
What are you putting him on?
The past 7 weeks. So first of all, I teach them how to do a fast.
I fast.
So I help them fast. We do a fast for 7 days, only water. When you fast for 7 days, after 2 days, you reach hormesis, which is reverse aging. But when you go a little bit more, if you could catch up to about 5 to 6 days, your body will start eating up even bad cells, which are cancer cells.
Yeah.
And then you'll clean up your body. And scar tissue,
what happens? What happens if you pray while you're fasting?
It's even better. You connect to God. And
Do you know that? I forget what it is, but there's scripture in the Bible that basically talks about moving the mountain if you have the faith, right? But faith of the size of a mustard seed, you could move mountains. And then if you go to the next chapter, it's blank. Then the next chapter continues, and the blank chapter was like, wait a minute, why is this blank? And it is blank. Well, if you go look at older Bibles and older scripture, it wasn't blank. What it says is to have the faith and the fasting with prayer. So right. The fasting, I think, believe it or not, is some sort of, secret that nobody wants you to know, because fasting is incredible. Even if you only fast for 18 hours in a day, it does benefits. People are eating all day long, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like, dude, I eat maybe twice. Otherwise, I'm fasting.
Right.
And I don't care if I'm hungry. I like the hunger feel.
I like to suffer.
I feel leaner.
Yeah.
Like you walked in and you said, you don't look as in shape as you do online. Well,
no, you look in shape in person more than you do online.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. But that's only because, I'm getting in shape.
No, you look good.
You probably saw when I wasn't in shape because, dude, I was getting a little bit chunky.
Yeah.
Well, what did I do? Very simple. I started eating smart, but I also fasted. That's all I did different. So I was still working out and I was still doing, people were like, you're on TRT. Yes, I am. But so what? Like that shit doesn't do it. Go ahead and inject testosterone and see what happens. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. So it's not the testosterone. It's the fasting and the working out. I go into the gym and I lift weights and I walk on a treadmill. And then I ask people, like, you can't fucking walk in the morning? Are you telling me that you are such a freaking bitch? You can't walk? I'm not running. I'm not doing all the crazy shit. I'm just walking. So I can walk. It's no problem. So I walk for 30 minutes. I do a body part, just chest, or one day, just legs, just shoulders, just arms. So I pick a body part and I walk, and that's it.
Yeah.
Not even very heavy, bro. And next thing you know, I was like 24% body fat. Boom. Last time I checked my body fat, I was like freaking 10.8.
Yeah.
And it's like nothing changed from before when I was chunky. And I did the same stuff, by the way. The only thing that changed was the fast.
Yeah.
I added fasting, dude, and it melted away.
Your body will literally, like, your fat will eviscerate.
Well, I just started too. Like, dude, my intention is to just get cut.
Yeah. And when you do intermittent fasting and you'll go into eating, let's say, only red meat, your testosterone level will go up. My testosterone levels are at 1,000 without gear. When I competed, I took gear. I took gear for 4 months, a couple of times, when I was competing.
Well, ice baths help too.
The ice bath brings up your testosterone level by 700%. I come out of there, ready to go. You name it. But then I also run. And there's another thing that I have my guys do is when they wake up in the morning, take their cold shower because they don't have an ice bath. Take the cold shower, do the ginger shot, read your book, wake up early, go to sleep early. When you sleep between the times of 8 p.m. to 1 a.m., every hour counts as 2. If you remember a time that you had in your life where you went to sleep, let's say at 5 p.m., you woke up at 7, 8, can't go back to bed. You're wide awake. It's because these are the best times to sleep. So
Why is
your
that?
sleep is way more efficient.
Is that to do with the circadian rhythm?
Well, this is just how we were bred, we're how we were made. God made us in a way that when it gets dark, we go to sleep, and we automatically wake up. You can't sleep more than 6 hours. Today I hear people are sleeping 9 hours, 10 hours. What are you doing? You're sleeping your life away? It's absolutely crazy to me. But if you're on the right diet, stay away from sugars completely. Don't touch sugar. Stay away even from vegetables. Don't touch any fruits. Eat red meat, drink the ginger shot, have black coffee, intermittent fasting. Your fat will eviscerate. You will not have anything. You will be shredded, and your testosterone level is going to go through the roof. Through the roof.
How do you hold people accountable in your program?
That's why we have the whole group. If they send in photos, check-in photos, I see them in the mornings, I see them later in the night.
What if they're not doing it?
Then they can't be in the group, they're falling off. But there's enough men that we push each other. I mean, when there's enough men in the room,
Real men,
there's some feeling of like this transference in the air where you feel like you could take over. Men running teams, women have circles. When men work in teams, we march towards an enemy and we go to get the enemy. We don't speak while we're going there. That's because also men are not that conversational, unlike women. Women have very high emotions. They could talk about things. They run in circles. That's how we were back in the day. They would sit in a circle. The men would go hunt. Men have very little emotions, but they're very deep, and we are meant to suppress them because the men, we have a utilitarian meat suit that is meant for strength and speed. We were built to kill. You are a killer. The question is, who's going to raise that killer inside of you? Somebody comes after your child, boom, you're a killer. You don't care who it is. So we're killers. The only thing is, if I could pull that out of them, that beast, and teach them how to be stoic, control your emotions. That's why I sit in ice. I could sit in ice. I sat there for 46 minutes. All the way up to here, froze myself. Came out, didn't know who I was. Couldn't remember my name. But I wanted to suffer. I wanted to feel the feeling of death. When you want to suffer and you embrace suffering as a man, there's nothing you can't do. I go every day to the gym to suffer.
Why don't you just let people kick you in the nuts?
Still want to have kids.
Well, I mean, there's people that hear suffer and they just think pain, and it's not the same thing. Because what you're talking about, even though sitting in the ice bath does hurt a little bit, it kind of feels painful, but it's not that bad. It's discipline. That's the suffering. Challenge. It's discipline.
Go through the challenges.
People need discipline. Because I don't want to go to the gym. I don't want to eat. I don't want to fast. I want to eat. I want to drink milkshakes. I want to eat pizza. Problem is I'm going to suffer if I do, and I'm going to suffer if I don't. I would rather choose this suffering than that suffering. And that's what people need to understand. You're going to be a fat ass, laughed at, broke joke unless you realize I'm going to suffer one way or the other. I might as well suffer the food. I suffer because I don't get the pizza. I suffer because I don't get the ice cream. And before I would just go like, fuck that. I want this shit. Right. But now for some reason, since I started that, bro, I don't even care anymore.
Once my guys go through a 7-day fast, they know exactly how to control their body.
So you 7-day fast them.
Yeah.
Damn, that's heavy.
Yeah.
I've never done a 7-day. I've done a 3-day, 2.5.
So in Judaism, we're doing 4 days per year.
What's Ramadan? How long do you not eat for that?
So that's Muslims, and it's 30 days, and they only go intermittent fasting, so they don't eat until 5 p.m.
Oh, so
it's
they still eat.
Fast.
So Jewish
people don't eat for 25 hours 4 times a year to cleanse the body.
What about the Jewish people I know that that don't observe Judaism?
Sure, then they're just, they're Jews by design. They were born Jewish, but they're not acting as Jews. And that's the biggest problem also that we have today as Jews. A lot of Jews, and it's crazy because there have been a lot of situations where there was Jews that were hostages and Jews that were taken away in different countries around the world for many, many years. We usually get kicked out of countries every 80 to 90 years if you look at time, and we get slaughtered. Anytime you tell a Jew, hey, become a Christian, we won't kill you, or become a Muslim, we won't kill you. No, I'm Jewish. They'll die in the hands of other men as a Jew, but they won't live as a Jew. And that is the issue that we have, is that they don't want to keep Shabbat. They don't want to separate cheese and milk. But everything in Judaism, it's wisdom.
They don't want to separate cheese and milk. Cheese is milk.
The cheese and meat.
Oh, cheese and meat.
Yeah.
Why do you got to separate it?
Judaism rewards intelligence for many, many years. The highest status person is a rabbi, not the richest person. The richest person goes to the rabbi to get his support, to get his blessing. He's at the highest status.
What makes you a rabbi?
You have to study from the time that you're born for many, many years. You have to know everything about every single Bible. Every single Bible. Or else you could say you're a rabbi, nobody's going to pay attention to you. You have to know the legit side of the story.
But there's Torah.
There's the Torah.
There's the Talmud.
But then you have other books.
What's the Ashkenazi or whatever?
Ashkenazi? No, Ashkenazi are just the white Jews.
What's that mean?
They're the ones from Europe. A lot of Russian Jews, Ukrainian Jews.
But they don't look at the Torah?
Polish.
What do they read?
Ever since the Holocaust, which is crazy to me. Some people don't know when I say the Holocaust, they think it's a soccer team or something. They don't even know what that is. It's how crazy to me. They don't believe that it happened, that Hitler even existed. But a lot of them after the Holocaust decided they don't want to even think about being Jewish.
Why? Because of the trauma?
Because of what happened to them.
That would be a good damn reason to not be.
But at the end of the day, you survived. You should be 100%
proud now
that you survived because God wanted you to survive. You didn't end up dying. Nobody put you in rooms full of gas. You should be happy. You should say, thank God I survived this. The problem is that a lot of people have a survivor mentality today.
So let me ask you a question.
And survivor, if you know...
How did God allow the Holocaust?
Well, God has his reasons. Back in that time, a lot of the people... And look, what's crazy? Before they got to Morocco to kill my people... I'm Moroccan. America stopped them. But before that, they were killing all these Jews over there. The Jews over there, they were eating pork. They were going with non-Jews. They were doing everything against Judaism. And
Jewish people can't go with non-Jewish people?
No. We're not supposed to. Like the men, they go sleep with non-Jewish women. They're not supposed to.
So what if they do?
It's forbidden.
Then that makes them
and that's the problem.
Outcasts?
Well, no.
Like what if I were Jewish and I went to your guys' synagogue? Is that a synagogue you go to?
Yeah.
So I go to your guys' synagogue and you guys know me and I'm sleeping with a Christian woman. Would you am I in trouble?
Try to talk you into, hey, there's enough Jewish women. Let's try to introduce you to one.
Because what about Jewish women? Are they got to stay with Jewish men?
We all do. We're supposed to marry Jews, and there's a reason for it too. Because God took us as the chosen people and told us now as the chosen people, you have to get everybody else to become Jewish because everybody else didn't have a religion. We had a religion.
That's what Yahshua tried to do.
Correct. Yoshua, which they call him Jesus Christ, right? They don't even know his name. And it's sad to me that they believe in him, but they don't actually know who he is. He studied the Torah, which was the Old Testament. So whoever went and made his name as Jesus Christ when J just came into the alphabetical order and into the alphabet back in the 15th century. We didn't have J until then, right? So there was no Jesus Christ. His name was Yoshua. And only 300 years later, they rewrote the Bible that he wasn't studying. He was studying the Torah. So if he was studying the Torah, why are you studying something else? Why do you need to rewrite something if, like we said, God already wrote it? You don't have to write it again. Jewish is a
but they say the New Testament, it was the apostles that followed around Yeshua, and that was
Yeshua was studying
like
the
God
Torah.
saw that his children were going incorrectly, so that's why the New Testament was created.
It was created by who? By a bunch of people.
It was created by God according to the New Testament.
The New Testament. We all know that it's not true.
Well, we all don't know that.
The problem is that people want to be a part of something. So they say, okay, they're Jews. Well, we're going to start our own thing. Then Muslims came and said, we're going to start our own thing. And everybody wants to have their group.
Well, I don't know if it's in the Old Testament or the New Testament, but there is scripture somewhere that would debunk the fact that you guys are the chosen ones. You used to be. And then at some point, there's a scripture that says that you are no longer the chosen ones. Now my children are the chosen ones, and my children is the church, the body, not necessarily that church or that church, but the body, his children. Right. And I don't know I'm not a scholar enough to debate you, but they said that the Jewish people were the chosen ones, but not anymore. But we'll see.
But you know what the problem is that humans say that we're not the chosen one.
Well, I say this.
How many Jews are in the world?
I don't know.
13 million. 13 million Jews in the world.
All I know is there's two in the room.
Who are the people that control the world, you know?
The Jewish?
Know everything.
The Jewish?
100%.
So Jewish control the world?
Who are the smartest people in the world?
Who? Jewish? I don't know.
We've invented everything. The mic you use, it's probably a Jew invented that. We've invented everything. The emails that you use, Google, everything. Every top CEO in every big company, Jews. Why?
Because a lot of the Hollywood are Jewish.
They're not real Jewish. These are the Jews that go against Judaism, by the way. These ones that you're talking about, they go against
What do
Judaism.
real Jews think about Palestine thing?
We have nothing. We say whatever was meant to be happened. For many years, you couldn't even judge anybody. Because if everything was meant to happen and someone killed somebody, there was like controversy between that, you know? How can you judge him? How can you put him in jail if God sent him? Because back in the day, there used to be rabbis who could tell you the futures 200 years ahead. Then how can you put him in jail? So there was like a big debate about it.
But now you have to believe that God sent him to do that.
You have to believe that he sent him. Correct. So if something happened, there's a reason for it. Listen, and there's things that I know 100% in my heart, not believe, but I know. But sometimes if I speak about them, even Jews don't like to hear what I say. They just don't.
Yeah, but there's certain kinds of Jewish. So
Yes.
like the kind that have the spiral things,
Right.
what are those called?
These are Orthodox Jews.
Yeah, so there's Orthodox, there's the Talmud or Talmudic. Is that what they're called?
So, no, there's Orthodox Jews. There is some that are not so religious like the Orthodox. There's some conservative. And then there's some like me and her where, you know, we're normal, like easy Jews. I don't
But
keep
do you read the
Shabbat.
Torah?
From here, and yeah, every morning I do my tefillin.
Have you ever read the Talmud?
I didn't go into it. No, I
Okay,
read part of it.
so is it because
Part of it I did read, not the whole thing.
Well, I'm asking, but I'm not telling because it sounds like I'm telling, but I'm just asking. I was told by several people, Jewish people, that there's different types of Jews, and like one is a Talmudic, and they go by the Talmud, and there's one
Talmud, correct,
and there's one that's the Torah, and they don't like, they're separate. Like I go with the Talmud,
like
you go with the Torah. And the Talmud supposedly, and by the way, there's all kinds of conspiracies about that, but the Talmud, apparently that they are like the real ones. They're the best ones. They're the most elite ones. And if you're not the Talmuds, then you're not worth anything. And you're just the regular Jewish people.
And that's what the Talmud guys say, right?
So which one are you?
I would say an easy Jew. I don't believe in the guys who cover their women completely, you know. That to me looks identical to just being
I thought that was Muslim. Yeah.
You cover, so also the Jewish women who are super like Hasidic in New York, they're also against Israel, these people. They're saying that we were either the chosen people or we have a country. You can't have both. So the people that are now in Israel are no longer the chosen people because you can't have both.
Why?
You have to wait for the Messiah to come and give you the country. But the truth is that the only place that was given to anybody by God was Israel.
Who did he give it to?
To the Jews. He pulled us out of Egypt.
But then what's Palestine?
Well, after we went back to Israel, and back and forth, they came and they destroyed our temple, the Romans, and it was a big headache for many, many years, back and forth. Eventually, we left Israel. So Palestinians were put there.
By whom?
By the British colonies.
How do you know it wasn't by God?
Obviously, we're all here by God.
Yeah, but maybe God put them there. Who are you to judge?
But the British was in control there. Okay. And then the British let us go there after the Holocaust, and they put us there. They gave the Jews part of Israel. And then we were living with Palestinians. There's a lot of Palestinians that live in Israel. They're living there with us. But then some of them said, we don't want to stay here. We're going to go and build our own. And they went to Gaza. But Gaza is controlled by Hamas. And Hamas doesn't care about the people. The only reason they exist is so they could absolutely annihilate and kill every person who doesn't think like them. Doesn't matter if you're Jews, they kill their own people in Palestine.
Well, to me, as soon as I saw the Hamas, that's when I would have said Khalas.
Khalas, yeah. So it goes very deep when you really look into it, and there's so much that is happening. At the end of the day, you just have to say God exists. Whatever happens, happens for a reason. I'm here to suffer. I enjoy the suffer. I enjoy the discomfort. I challenge myself every single day. If I wasn't committed and wasn't disciplined, a year and a half ago, I could tell you, I had one of the hardest years of my life was the past 18 months building the social media thing. I didn't know what I was getting into. But to go from having a call with you to now being here with you, to now getting on a big film, to now having 4 billion views on social media, without commitment, I would have failed. Without discipline, I would have failed.
Do you think it was because you talked to me that all that happened?
Well, I think we make our reality. There is something called the law of reversibility, right? If water could turn into steam, then steam could turn into water. If a circumstance could create a feeling, then a feeling could create a circumstance. So if I talked to you a year and a half ago and in my mind I had bread, and now I'm here with you, that's called the law of attraction. I attracted you into my life as you attracted me into your life. We are all connected as humans. We lost the ability to connect because they disconnected us. That's why women don't want kids anymore. That's why they don't want husbands. But we're all connected. You could be at a place, at a shop, and you feel that somebody's looking at you, and you turn around and somebody's looking at you. You could feel it. We're all connected, the whole world.
That's an energy.
Energy, vibrations, and frequencies.
That's right.
And people don't understand. If you have the right mindset, that word derived from the word setting your mind to the frequencies of where you want to be. And my frequencies are here with you, with the people at the top. That's where my frequencies are. And that's where I'm going. That's where I got to. Because I kept these frequencies. You create infinite intelligence when you have a burning desire inside of you that says, I'm going in. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to be exactly like them and be there with them.
The frequency is what you frequently see.
Uh-huh.
People ask me, what do I think my secret is, or what's my trick, or why me, and all this when I'm on podcasts. And you know what I tell them? I tell them it's my frequency. Mm-hmm. They're like, what do you mean? It's like, number one, when I wake up in the morning, I'm extremely grateful. Mm-hmm. So my energy is in gratitude, where other people, they wake up and they're worried about rent. Mm-hmm. So where's their energy?
Down.
It's in rent. It's in worry and fear and anxiety. Mine's over here in gratitude and optimism and hope and all that. And then I spend my day battling all of the things that take people usually back down to those frequencies of anxiety and fear and down here.
When my students finish with their morning routine, you know, when you get into underwater, the cold shower, you go also into an alpha state. You create infinite intelligence. You go from a creative mind, like a creative mind that has just wishes and desires and able to attract. But after they do that morning routine, I send them to the park, or if they live in a house, walk on the grass or on the ground barefoot.
Yeah, you ground them.
I ground them because the world is an electromagnetic field. If you step on real grass, you will get grounded. You will have electricity surging through your body. Also something that I keep them on. The whole 5 weeks, first of all, they get off of porn completely. I don't watch porn. I don't believe in porn. Get off of porn completely. 2, unlike every girl that you liked her photo, and unfollow every girl. And 3, semen retention is something that everybody on social media knows me as. Semen retention. Keep your semen in, you will have energy like you never had before. In our Bible, it says that a man has 5,000 nut before he dies. So some people said, there's no way, I nutted more than 5,000 times. No. Your life force dies. You don't die, but you die. You're not the same person anymore. And I conserve it.
Well, I better stop.
You better stop. And if you're
I got 7 kids.
If you're on TRT, you know, you probably want to go all the time, but I conserve it. And the more you do of something, the more you're going to want it. The less you do of something, the less you're going to want it.
Well, I received a pass. Mm-hmm. He gave me 50,000.
50,000? I want that pass.
Well,
I don't know if
he chose me, I guess.
How long was the longest you went?
Shit. Like a month.
And how you felt? Did you test yourself?
Maybe a month or 2. I don't know if I was ever single that long. Like anytime I broke up with a girl, man, I'd be getting me another one quick. I like to have one. I don't like dating.
I cancel all their masturbations, none of that. Semen retention is extremely important, especially in my program. And for men who want to become stoic, you conserve your energy.
It's just like taking a cold shower, though. It's like, dude, it makes you feel like
imagine doing all of it at the same time.
Yeah, like when you're in like when you do cold showers, and I think cold shower is harder than cold plunging. At least when you plunge, you're all the way in. Cold showers, it's like, whoa. But cold showers, when I do take them, when you're done, you do feel invigorated, and more importantly, you feel more manly. You feel more like, fuck yeah, I can do this.
You're feeling hyped.
And not only that, it's like, you know, people are like, dude, you take cold showers, that's crazy. And you're like, fucking, it's nothing. When in reality, it's something. You feel the same shit everyone else does, but you're stoic, you're disciplined, you're able to take it. And I think mentally that adjusts your mindset to where you're in a different place coming out of the shower, where some people are coming out of a warm shower. Now, again, I do take warm showers too, and I prefer a warm one over a cold one. But every once in a while, I'm like, fuck it, cold.
So with me, you have to get up in the morning, right when you're done reading your book, and you walk to your shower, you turn on the cold water, and then you get in. And suffer. Scream, I don't care. I want you to change. The way you change our program in our mind, the subconscious mind, 98% of the day, you're operating from the subconscious mind. Only 2% of the day, you're operating from the conscious mind. So in order for you to have a better program, you have to reprogram the neural connections. The thing is that we have 80 billion neural connections, and the way to do it is every single moment of the day. And when you go to sleep, I tell people, you're going to hypnotist, you're an idiot. If you go to get hypnotized, you don't need a hypnotist. What you need to do is your subconscious mind actually stays on, and your conscious mind completely goes to sleep when you go to sleep. And you put for yourself a program. I let them have like different, sleeping hypnosis, and a special program that reprograms you. After 21 days, when you sleep with it, you're like a new person, and you fix the neural connections. And every day we do the things we don't want to do, but we do it like we love it. And I tell them, When you get out of the shower, don't go, I finished it. No, say, yes, yes, I did it. I did it. It was awesome. Tell yourself it was awesome. Don't tell yourself, I did it. Oh my God, I'm cold. No, say I'm awesome. You crash your car. Yes, beautiful. Great, a better one is coming. Your girlfriend cheated on you. Yes, beautiful. Another better one is coming. If not 1, 10. If not 10, 1,000. But they're coming. No matter what happens, everything, just say yes. Good. Thank you, God. Another chapter to life. Let me karate chop this shit and move forward. This is the kind of mindset that you need to have. And if you have that mindset, there's nothing that could stop you. You didn't come here with nothing. You're not leaving with nothing. In this life, you don't gain anything and you don't lose anything. So what the fuck you're afraid of? Because at the end of the day, we're not going to make it out alive anyways.
Yeah, but while we're here, it sure is nice to be rich.
It is. It is. I've had poor days for a very long time, and I've had rich days for a very long time. I take rich every single day of my life. And thank God today, I make a lot of money with social media from coaching. A lot.
Well, if anybody wants to be coached by the king, go where? King_Azoulay?
Yeah. They reach out to me on Instagram.
You got a website?
No, they just, once they go to King_Azoulay on Instagram, they could see the link to the coaching program. They go on and they get qualified. I don't take anybody. I don't take everybody that comes in. We go through a qualification process. You put one bad seed with a whole good crop, you might kill the good crop. You don't need them in there.
So go apply is what he's saying,
and
folks.
I'm not thirsty. I'm not thirsty for the money. Although it's great. I couldn't imagine bringing in that much money from coaching. I didn't think it was going to happen like this. We're talking about 7-figure per month. Big, big, big on coaching.
Well, that's why I try to tell people. Because again, this system, dude, if you're doing that just with live calls, I could show you how to make more than that and help more people.
I want to talk to you after this. After we do the show, I want to, if you have another few minutes with me.
Sure I do.
Because I know you're at the top of this. And I think with some work that we could do together, I think I could take it very far.
Beautiful.
My goal is to help the people of the world. And at the end of the day, most of the money that I'm making, now I've been investing it back into the business. But after that, most of it is going to go to build homes for children, orphans, and feed kids around the world. This is what I want to do. I want to have, I said, my son was taken from me. I want to have 2,000 kids, at least, that I'm feeding. The schooling will be my schooling. I want to teach them. I'm going to give them the wisdom of the world. I'm going to teach them to become better as men, better with women, more loving, more caring, more understanding, there for their kids. A lot of men are not there for their kids. I want them to be there to understand how to bond.
What about, lastly, what about your beard oil?
The beard oil. So we went to 11 different countries and got the best extracts. And I've been using it for about a year now. And now finally that I saw, because I used to have allergy attacks, like if I put colognes. So I said, you know what? I'm going to put this on. And one of the things that we use in there, it also gives you like a good scent. I've been wearing it for about a year. My beard grew longer, nicer, and also cleaner, smoother, straight. It looks great. Everywhere I go, people compliment me. And it smells like cologne. So you don't have to put cologne on you and hurt yourself with the alcohol that was killing me. So I would say the launch date will be in about a month. And I have not released the name yet because we're still opening up the company and doing the trademarks.
Why not King's Beard?
It's King's Beard Oil, but there's a whole brand behind it. But the slogan is only the best for a king. And then the morning king shot, we're going to do it in powder form. So people could buy it in powder form and take it anywhere they want. You're traveling right now, you have it in powder form.
I want that shit. I don't do the beard oil.
Oh, you don't have a beard.
Yeah, this is as long as, I mean.
You put on your hair.
It goes a little bit longer, but as soon as it starts getting long, it starts to itch and I don't like it. And I've never really had a full beard like that. And I think why would I want to cover up my money maker? No, just joking.
Honestly, listen, you're a handsome dude. Okay, and guys, I know, oh, it's gay. No, you know, also men have platonic relationships where, you know, men can love one another. We die for one another. They don't understand that. A lot of men don't have that value today of you would die for the man you stand with in battle. Just like, you know, you got your last name. How'd you get your last name? Many, many years ago, there was a man standing on a battlefield and he was holding a sword. But before that, before he died on that battlefield, he had a son who had a son who had another son and sons all the way down to you and to me. So I think people have to understand that the men died for one another, and having love for a man as a platonic relationship, like a brotherhood, is something that is very much needed, and men don't have to date teams. And now they're going against other men, for example, like Andrew Tate, who has a team, has people around him. They are communicating and connecting with men all around the world. You are stuck in one geographical location. Not you, but men are stuck in one geographical location. No friends, no team. They're not on social media. They have fake accounts to just go check out girls. And that's why they're getting beat. They're getting destroyed. They're getting kicked out of the world in real time. And then they ask, why are they depressed?
And they're jacking off.
And they're jerking off.
They're losing their seeds.
Everything. They're losing. You need to connect again, the bond.
They're being drained.
But you, somebody that looks like you know, I don't think at your age you need to have a beard. I think it's nice as a young man to have a strong beard. Maybe until you're 37, 38, maybe 40. Unless I will turn into a rabbi and then I'll just keep it. You know, because I'm going towards, you know, what I'm doing is God's work. Eventually, who knows, I might become extremely religious. But I think a man, once he hits about 40 and he starts to look a little bit older, this keeps you young. You look 40. You look 40. I wouldn't give you a day over 40.
Well,
you have a good set of hair, you're nicely shaved, you're clean cut. It's another thing that I tell men. Second they come into my training, you know, some of them hair here, beard here. Hey, clean up. Clean up, look presentable. Work out, wake up. You know?
What do they say to you?
At the beginning, they're like kind of shocked, but you know, because they've been following me for a while, I have that authority.
Do wives thank you?
Yes, they do. They do. I've taken a religious man who was working as a teacher, teaching guitar. He has 6 kids from New York. He couldn't make a living. Now he's doing real estate. He opened up a real estate company. He's making a lot of money. Just bought his wife a beautiful BMW. They came from nothing. They came from Israel 6 years ago and they were completely suffering. He was overweight. He had a belly this big. Now with me, done deal. No belly, runs every day, screams to me every single day, fearless, I'm fearless, I'm fearless. His wife calls me and they're religious. You know, she's not really supposed to talk to me. She calls me and says, Jacob is here, you know. And I just want to tell you, I can't recognize my husband. He's better with the kids. He's better with me. And he told me this. He said, you know what? You taught me that in order for me to be a king, I have to treat my wife like a queen.
That's right.
I told him she's been with you since the time that she was 17. A virgin. Where do you find that today? Only with what you have.
I would tell a joke, but it wouldn't be funny.
No.
I was going to say ugly third graders. But nowadays with the crap going on, even that joke's not funny. But dude, listen, I like what you got to say. I'm glad you came. I want to invite you maybe back for another one. How often you come to Vegas?
For you, I'll come back.
Because there's a lot more we could be talking about that we didn't even get a chance to. And I know you got a flight and I know you got plans. So folks, if you guys want to get coaching, you want the king shot, you want the beard oil, just Google the dude. You can't miss him at king_Azoulay, AZOULAY. If you want coached, go check him out. If you want a job, go to bradlee.com, fool, and hit the application. I'll just give you a job. Maybe I'll send you to him to be coached and then you can come. But as always, until next time, keep it real.